I never thought I'd be telling this story. Never thought I'd be living it. My name is Claudia, and if you had told me 5 years ago that I'd be where I am now, I would have laughed, shaken my head, and called you crazy. But life has a way of twisting reality into something you barely recognize. And sometimes, the person you love most becomes a stranger. When I met Elijah, I was drawn to his confidence, the way he filled a room without even trying. He wasn't loud or flashy. He just had this presence, a quiet storm. He was a writer, deep, observant, passionate. We met at a gallery opening in the city. I was there covering the event for a lifestyle magazine, and he was showcasing a short film he'd written. I remember the way he looked at me, like he already knew the end of our story. We fell into each other fast. He challenged me. His words opened things in me I hadn't touched in years. I was a planner, a structure addict. Elijah was chaos in skin, sexy, unpredictable, raw. I thought he was showing me how to live. I thought he was freeing me. But now, I wonder if he was just undoing me from the inside out. We married quickly. My friends warned me, told me it was too fast, that I didn't really know him. But I felt seen, desired. He made me feel alive. And for a while, it was beautiful. The late-night dancing in the kitchen, the deep conversations about justice, about pain, about art. The sex was powerful. He had this way of making me feel like I belonged to him without ever saying the words. It thrilled me, scared me. I thought it was passion. I didn't see the control creeping in. It started small. He didn't like the way I dressed, said it didn't reflect the real me. Then it was my job. He thought writing fluff pieces was beneath me. He wanted me to create, to dig into something deeper. So I quit. I thought it would bring us closer. I thought it was love. It felt like devotion. But soon, I started to feel like I was fading. He had all these rules, unspoken ones. I couldn't spend too much time with my friends. Couldn't talk to certain people. Couldn't wear red lipstick because it attracted the wrong energy. He cloaked it in spirituality, in black power, in poetry. He said I needed to decolonize my mind. He said I was indoctrinated. I wanted to understand him. I wanted to support him. But somewhere in trying to love him, I started to disappear. Then came that night, the night that changed everything. He had invited a couple over. I didn't know them well, just that they were artists, like him. They drank wine, talked about dismantling the system, about freedom, about bodies and pleasure. Elijah held my thigh under the table and whispered things in my ear that made my stomach twist. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. He asked me, right there in front of them, if I trusted him. I hesitated, smiled awkwardly, then nodded. Good, he said, because tonight I want to show you something real. He took my hand and led me upstairs. The couple followed. I asked him what was going on. He kissed me and said, "This is your liberation, baby. You're about to shed everything that's been holding you back." I didn't understand. Not at first, but then the woman started to undress. The man looked at me like he had been waiting for this. Elijah just watched me, calm, expectant. I backed away, said I didn't want this. He didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He just looked me in the eye and said, "You said you trusted me. This is what I want." My breath caught. I couldn't speak. I felt trapped between the woman's perfume and the heat in the room and the look on Elijah's face. I didn't know what to do. I felt like a puppet strung between loyalty and shame. I wish I could tell you I walked out. I wish I could say I screamed or fought back, but I didn't. I froze. And in that frozen moment, I let something happen that I've never stopped regretting. After that night, something in me broke. I tried to act like nothing happened, tried to move on. But Elijah changed. He was colder, quieter. Like now that I had given him this part of me, I was no longer a mystery, just a possession. He started disappearing for days at a time, said he was working on a new project. I found messages, cryptic ones, pictures. When I confronted him, he laughed, said I was being colonized by jealousy, said women like me always tried to cage men like him. You knew who I was, he said. You wanted this. But I didn't. I didn't want that. I wanted him, the man who used to write poems on my skin, who used to hold me after I cried. I didn't want the man who made me do things to prove my love, who twisted liberation into submission. The final straw came 2 weeks later. I found a video on his laptop. From that night, he had recorded it, without telling me. He said it was art, said it was for us. I felt sick, humiliated, betrayed. I left that night, packed a bag, and walked out. I didn't leave a note. I didn't cry. I just walked. That was 6 months ago. I haven't seen him since. People ask me why I stayed as long as I did. Why didn't I run sooner? The truth? I thought what we had was love. I thought giving in meant growing. But now I know real love doesn't ask you to betray yourself. I still dream about him sometimes. Not the man he became, but the man I fell in love with, the one who looked at me like I was fire and sky. Maybe that man never really existed. Maybe he was just the bait. All I know is this. When someone says, if you really love me, you'll do this for me, and it feels like your soul is shrinking. That's not love. That's control. And you won't believe what my black husband made me do. But I lived it, and I'm still healing from it. But I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm not silent, and I'm never going back.